Unit 2, Using Objects, Topic 2.7, String Methods. Application Program Interfaces, APIs, and libraries simplify complex programming tasks. Documentation for APIs and libraries are essential to understanding the attributes and behaviors of an object of a class. Classes in the APIs and libraries are grouped into packages. A package is a group of related classes along with their methods, fields, and constructors. Packages are part of a programming library. We can think of a programming library the same way we do a regular library. It's a collection of written works created mostly by other people. Each library is a collection of packages and classes, such as java.utilities, java.language. Each package is made up of classes. In order to read each class, we need a set of instructions that explain how that class can be used. Application Programming Interfaces, APIs, are a set of instructions that allow programmers to use the class. The API gives us instructions that explain what methods like println and nextInt do so that we can utilize them. When asking for user input, we have to import the following: java.util.scanner. Java.util is a package. Scanner is a class inside the package java.util. The string class is part of the java.language package. Classes in the java.lang package are available by default, meaning you do not have to manually import them. Here's one way to visualize it. A string object can be concatenated with an object reference, which implicitly calls the reference object's toString method. One of the powers of reference types are the methods you can call on them and their objects to extend and enhance their capabilities. For AP CSA, you are expected to know and apply the class constructors and methods found in the Java Quick Reference Guide. Click to download a copy for your personal use. You'll be given this resource on exam day. At this time, we will focus on the constructor and methods you are expected to know and use for the string class. There are many more string methods that can be found in Java APIs and libraries, but these are the ones we are responsible for knowing and applying in APCSA. On the left side, you can see the method signatures. On the right, you can see the explanation aligned with the corresponding method. First is the string constructor, used to construct a string object. The following 6 methods are non-void methods. You might notice that they all return values of the same type found in the method header. We will go through each in more detail, but first let's understand how string objects are stored. Here I am creating a string object called word of day. It will store the string value computational. A string is a sequence of characters. Each character in the string is indexed starting at 0. In this case, it ends at index 12. Let's apply the method indexOf that answers the question: at which index is the letter N first found in word of day? We call the method indexOf with the actual parameter N on the object word of day. If we run this code, it will return 10. A string object has index values from 0 to length -1. Attempting to access indices outside this range will result in an index out of bounds exception. In this case, the index 14 is outside the index range. Let's call some methods on the string object word of day to see how they work and what they return. The method length returns the number of characters in word of day, in this case 13. This substring method takes in 2 integer parameters which we will call from and to. It will return the substring, or string of characters, starting at the index from, in this case index 5, all the way to index 11 exclusive. It does not include the character at index 11. A string identical to the single element substring at position index can be created by calling substring index plus 1. Essentially, you can create a single string character using substring index plus 1. Let's see it in action. If we call the method substring 2, 3, it will display the character m. Notice that index 2 is inclusive and index 3 is exclusive. Substring with one parameter, which we will call from, returns a substring starting at from all the way to length. You might notice that there are 2 methods with the same name but different signatures. Do you remember what that's called? This is an example of overloading methods. Let's find some words in our word of day. Can you extract the word cat from our word of day? Can you extract the word pal from our word of day? Can you extract more challenging words like opinion, upon, atomic? Let's see how these last two methods work and what they return. Let's start by initializing two string objects, word1 and word2. We can call the dot equals method on one of the objects and place the second as an actual parameter. The equals method compares the two strings character by character and then returns true or false. If both values are equal to each other, then the method will return true. If they are not equal to each other, as is in this case, the method will return false. The compare2 method shows how strings compare alphabetically. It returns a negative value if the first string comes before the actual parameter string object. It returns a positive value if the first string comes after the actual parameter string object. And it returns 0 if the first string is the same as the actual parameter string object.